welcome to episode 49, almost at 50, 49 of the Family Bit Pod. Yeah, I mean, a couple episodes in the same week, but either way. So episode 49 of the Family Based Pod. My name is Jake.
My name is Ben.
And Dallas got called into work because he's a professional. So we have time.
I don't know if being a stripper counts as being a professional, but we can get into that later. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm sure he's going to love hearing that. Yeah, while he's literally going into surgery, let's give him a little break on that. All right. So let's kind of jump right in. So ALCS and the NLCS have ended. 2 series, one based on our picks, kind of a surprise. The other one, not really. But let's talk about the ALCS first. The ALCS, the Houston Astros swept the New York Yankees. Was that a surprise?
Yeah. I mean, I think you and I both talked about the Astros being the better team, and they were probably the better team all year. Despite, the Yankees. I mean, the Yankees got off to a really hot start. Right, they were the best team in baseball the first half of the season, and then they came down to earth. But then they still were riding Judge's 62 home run season, so it felt like they were great, and they had such a commanding lead in the first half that they lost some games at the end there. But still, they kept it close enough, But the Yankees always looked like a flawed team, where the Astros were kind of just hammering through the AL West, and that's just what they continue to do. It was surprising to see a sweep, though. I figured the Yankees would take 1, maybe 2 games. But I mean, and they deserved it. Like, Cole pitched well in the games that he had to play. It's just that they had that error by Bader, and then of course that next pitch is that weird home run, that funky Yankee Stadium left right field home run where it kind of just like boop right over the fence there.
Yeah.
And then just like that, you were out of the game, and it was shitty. So, definitely surprising that they got swept, but not surprising that they lost.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
So, you said they seemed like a flawed team. What about the Yankees this year made you think they were flawed? Because they had the best start of any team in the first half. Why were they flawed?
I just felt like they didn't have, like IKF, right? Wasn't great. Yeah. It was weird that they brought him in. I thought that trade was interesting at the start of the offseason. Donaldson, I don't like him. So I never thought he was going to be consistent. You can't rely on him. You can't rely on Stanton's health, which he was hurt again for a good portion of the second half of the year. Cole and Nestor were really great, and they had other pieces that were obviously good, but it just seemed like the bullpen kind of started to struggle towards the second half of the season. It was just like everything that made them great in the first half started to kind of chip away in the second half, and then when they faced like a truly good team, they were exposed 4 straight games, and they got beat.
Yeah. It's one of those things that, if I'm honest, every non-Yankees fan was a little happy about it.
Yeah, but they have that Duke, Dallas Cowboys, Los Angeles Lakers. Like, people love them and people hate them. You know what I mean? Like, they're the most polarizing.
Yeah, but that's also the Astros. So, like, either way, it's lose for other fans of other teams. But I am surprised it was in 4. I expected like 5, 6. To at least compete. I mean, I think they scored a grand total of 7 runs in 4 games. So even though the Yankees pitching is suspect, the Yankees offense just did not come through. I mean, Rizzo had a good series. Rizzo had a good playoffs overall. Yeah, I mean, Judge, Stanton, IKF, all those guys.
Judge was terrible postseason.
Yeah.
Series against the Astros, he was really bad.
He was also bet against the Guardians. Against the Guardians, he started like
such a bad time to go into a slump. You know what I mean? Like, eventually he was gonna have a slump because that's just what baseball is, and it's just like, what a terrible time to hit your slump is when they need you in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, this should concrete the idea that Judge should win the MVP, because without Judge, their offense is lacking. Yeah. So, anyway.
You want to talk about the Astros at all? I mean, my boy Framber pitched well again.
Yeah.
He's going to be... Yeah. Dude, it's hard to imagine that anyone could beat their rotation on, like, 4 straight games. And then Presley in the back end of that bullpen, he was lights out against the Yankees. It seemed like every time he came in, the Yankees never had a fucking shot. He was just going to strike him out every single at-bat. He was just like, boom, 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 hitting the strike zone. He was so electric in the back end of that bullpen. And then you have Verlander, who's been great. Framber, who's obviously awesome. And then, you go McCullers, right, as your third? Or
yeah, McCullers, and they didn't even use Luis Garcia. And then they have another guy. I forget his name. There's something. Yeah. Anyway, something Javier. Or something, I forget.
Christian Javier. Christian Javier.
Yeah, that's how much he's a household name. We're talking baseball, and I can't remember his name.
The 5th starter.
Yeah, I know the Houston Astros bullpen had a below 1 ERA. For not for the series, not overall, but even still against the Mariners, it was pretty much that. Surprising, but man, this Astros pitching is, it's weird how good and consistently good they are, and they have been all year, but playing against the best teams, it was great to see if you're a baseball fan.
Yeah,
I haven't asked a casual fan, but yeah. So surprising.
We haven't talked about it yet, and I know we haven't made our predictions for the World Series, which we'll get to. But are you a little happy for Dusty? You got to be happy for Dusty, right?
You know what? I am, and that is a question that will come later about Dusty Baker.
Yeah.
Maybe having a chance. He's the only manager in baseball history to have over 2,000 regular season wins and not a World Series ring.
Crazy.
He's the only one. Think about the Giants, the Cubs, the Nationals, and either all those teams he coached outside of the Reds. But even still, when he was coaching the Reds, they were good. They won the
competitive,
Central. But every one of those teams, the Giants, then the Cubs, then the Nationals, once he left, they won the World Series, like a couple years after. So it would be great to see him win one. And that will be a question later. So, yeah, let's save that for a little bit. All right, the other LCS, the Padres and Phillies. The Phillies won in 5 games. So, not a sweep, but it certainly felt like one.
The gentleman's sweep, where you give them one game and you say, okay, there you go. We'll take that.
We'll give you one, now get out the room.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so how much we both picked the Padres.
We did.
We joked about how Dallas should have to stick with the Phillies, but he ended up picking the Padres too.
Should have followed his gut. Should have stuck with his gut.
Yeah, but again, surprise. You didn't pick him, but was it a surprise that happened?
Yeah, just by the fact that we predicted the other team, I think you would have to imagine it would be somewhat of a surprise. But the fact that they beat him so decisively, like we said, gentleman's sweep, 5 games, and it was kind of over. And the Padres didn't really look great. Like, it seemed like every time the Phillies needed to come up with a massive hit, they did. Or Bryce Harper was just up to bat. You know what I mean? Or Rhys Hoskins. Like, one of those two guys was up to bat when they needed a big hit, and then they got it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what makes baseball so fun. That's what's so exciting. As I can see the look on your face, you're even getting excited about it because you're thinking of the Bryce Harper home run, and when that place, then that lid just blew off of that stadium, man.
Yeah.
And that's what's so great. There's like the crowd's like getting into it as the pitch is, the pitch is there. He's getting ready. He looks down the sign. There's a slow murmur, slow build in the crowd, and then all of a sudden you hear the bat crack, and then the place explodes. And it's like not like that in football. There's no singular thing. I guess like a buzzer beater in the NBA or in the NHL is kind of like that as well. But baseball just has a singular excitement about it like that. But anyways, back to the game. We did predict the Padres, and then I saw that terrible rap video, and I immediately tried to back out, and I was like, I need to pick the Phillies out of just whatever the hell this is. I'm out. But the Padres just did not show up. They didn't show up, and it was really cool to see the Phillies take it. We were talking before we started recording. I'm really pumped for guys like Schwarber and Castellanos. Segura had played like a ton of games without making a World Series or even a deep playoff run. I think Real Muto, as well. So it's just kind of cool to see some of their guys, and like Bryce get his chance because the Nationals obviously won at the year he left.
Right.
So now it's like his shining moment, his real chance, and they're going to be the underdog, obviously, to the Astros. So it's going to be even cooler because Philly has that whole underdog mentality about them as like a city, Rocky, and Eagles, and all that. It's like their whole shtick, right? So that city I think they would burn that motherfucker to the ground if they're able to beat like this juggernaut Astros team and do it in a dramatic way like that. But it would be fun. It'd be great. It'd be great drama. Great drama.
I mean, the last championship that came through Philly was the Eagles, and they beat the Patriots. And then a viral clip of Philly or an Eagles fan eating horse crap one viral. So, I mean, I have no idea how crazy it'll be. At the end of the episode, I do have another one-on-one with the guy who came on our podcast, and I did not hold back in saying I deserve some credit that now they're in there, and obviously the year that I talked to you about it. But yeah, it was surprising that it didn't go longer. But as you kind of said, it was like it was so back and forth. Like every single inning, if someone scored, the other team would score. Like maybe not take the lead, but they would score and like chip away the lead and come. There were so many comebacks. So in that way, it was fun to watch. Mm-hmm. I will say this: the clip of Bryce Harper hitting the game-winning LCS clinching home run, I posted to a TikTok, and within 12 hours, it was the most viewed video we ever put out. All it was just him hitting the home run.
Yeah,
that's it.
Dude, so he smushed it too. Like he got every centimeter of that baseball.
And it was Oppo.
Yeah. Dude, that's like real grown man strength. Like you have to be strong to hit a ball. Like Stanton hits every home run he hits is like 120 mile an hour line drive to right field. It's just like like if you're sitting in right field, you better wear a helmet because you're gonna get knocked out. That's what that Harper felt, but it was like more majestic. It had more of an arch, But he got every ounce of that ball.
Yeah. It's there were a lot of iconic moments for the Phillies in the NLCS, but also the NLDS and the wild card. There were a lot of cool moments, and I'll let you guys hear if you watch the end of the episode. Dan, the Phillies fan, shares what he thought was the most iconic moment so far. And so again, it was surprising But again, to be honest, the two things that stuck out to me, and I'll just say this, was obviously that home run, the clutch home run. But Kyle Schwarber, in the last 4 games of that LCS, in the last 4 games, he had 3 home runs. So he's back at it. He was slumping for a while, but he's back at it. All right. We talked about the ALCS, the NLCS, and some surprises, some not. But let's just jump right to it. Let's not wait till the end. Let's just jump right to it. Our World Series, our 2022 World Series predictions. Ben, what do you have?
I'm going to take the Astros in 6. I don't think it'll be a particularly close series. I think the Astros will blow out the Phillies in the games they win, and I think the Phillies will win in dramatic fashion in the games they win, very much keeping to the or keeping to how they've played so far. I just don't think the Phillies have the pitching to match the Astros hitting. I really don't. Like, Nola's fine and Wheeler's fine, but they're not. Like, we just ran off the full 5-man rotation that the Astros could throw at you, and that's just their starters. You know what I mean? And those are 5 nasty guys. And it seems like I don't think the Phillies have the the pitching to match with the Astros. So I'm going to take, like I said, Astros in 6. Astros 6.
My easy take is this. Again, if you watch the end, I told Dan that I'm rooting for the Phillies, but I picked against them every time so far. So I'm just going to stick with that, and maybe they'll come true. So I'm going to go.
Reverse psychology, yeah.
Right. Yeah, of course. I mean, the Astros are tuning in to every episode we release, and the Phillies are too.
How could they not? How could they not?
Right. So I'm going to say this. I'm going to say the same thing, same prediction. I'm going to say the Astros in 6. And the reason why is kind of similar to what you're saying is that, except I would flip it. I would say the games the Phillies win, they blow out the Astros. Like, the floodgates just open and they're home runs, and it's crazy. And one of those games will be Halloween night. They play in Philly. That place is going to be insane. So I'm going to say Game 3, the Phillies win, but overall, the Astros take in 6. As you said, the starting pitching is great. Their bullpen has been lights out, so I'm going to go with them. But again, if I'm right, then I'm right. But if I'm wrong, then I'm still happy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So it's
the Astros do make it hard to root for them, especially with that cockbag senator of theirs. That video of the Yankees fans. Like, I'm not a huge Yankee fan. I'm not a huge fan of Yankees fans, but I could not be more pleased with how they treated that asshole. And I was like, all right, great. I can hang out with the Yankees fans because that was great. But yeah, so it's hard to root for the Astros. So I get why people would want to root for the Phillies, if that's what you cared about in choosing your baseball teams. But I just hope for a good series, man. Above all else, you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing more exciting than a Game 7 in any sport, whether it be hockey, basketball, or baseball. Game 7 of 2016 was the best. You know what I mean? Like, the World Series just is as great as regular season baseball is, which it is. And then even these past couple weeks in the postseason are great. But then it's like when all eyes are on these 26 guys on each side, you know what I mean? And they're truly just beating ass and playing their heart out. It's like, it's great. It's great to watch. It's great entertainment. This is, if anybody's going to watch baseball who hasn't really watch the World Series. Watch an exciting, like, Phillies team like that could get a fan or two.
If you have not watched baseball, or not really, or you're casual, but you're listening for whatever reason, watch Game 1. Game 1 will be a testament to how exciting baseball could be, and especially, or Game 3. Watch it on Halloween. Watch before you go outside. Watch a little bit of the Astros Phillies game in Philly. Watch that place go nuts. Those are games to watch for sure. Very quick before I get into some storylines, if it does come down to a Game 7, do you trust Dusty Baker to make the right call?
Yeah. I mean, dude, we were talking about it. He's coached in more games. He's been in baseball longer than you and I have been alive, I think, combined. Yeah. So you know what I mean? He knows what he's doing. I think you get caught up in some stuff that might have happened before. Like, I don't know. I do trust him. To answer your question, long story short, I trust him. Yeah. I mean, I just think he's got the right tools at his disposal and the right amount of talent on the team that kind of also makes up for maybe a managerial error. Like, the White Sox couldn't overcome TLR's managerial errors this year, but I think the Astros could overcome an error, a judgment lapse by a manager.
Okay.
So yeah, I think the Astros are good enough to overcome it if it were to happen, but I also think I would trust Dusty in that situation. Like, I would take him right now over David Ross. Like, if the Cubs had a chance to hire him, I would take him in an instant. So.
Ooh.
I'm not a big David Ross guy, but it's just.
Yeah, that might make some Cubs fans angry.
Whatever.
Yeah, whatever. All right. So, couple storylines that I want to ask you is this. First thing is that rookie shortstop for the Astros, Jeremy Pena, won the ALCS MVP. Do we expect a rookie to play as well in the World Series, or will he kind of take a step back a little bit since he's so young in the spotlight? What do you think?
I mean, I think the natural reaction would probably to assume he would take a step back and shrink under the moment of the lights, but you would have thought he would have done that before. Like, in the ALCS, it's still a huge level playing against the Yankees. You're at Yankee Stadium, you're playing humongous, meaningful games, and he still thrived. So I just think some guys maybe are quote unquote built different, right? Where they just don't get affected. Different. Exactly. They don't get affected by nerves as much or in the same capacity. Like, and I'm not comparing them on any other level except this. Derek Jeter never seemed to be afraid of a moment. You know what I mean? Like, at any point, whether he was a rookie or whatever. And maybe some guys are just different in that capacity where they can be like, this shit doesn't faze me like that. Maybe, I don't know. That's all. I'm not saying the same player. I'm just saying
you don't bring up you don't bring up the captain lightly.
Hey, I just saw a commercial that he was in for, I don't even remember, insurance or something. And it made me laugh so damn hard because the guy was like, we need a pinch hitter. And he goes, Derek. And then some other doofus stands up, and then Derek Jeter stands up behind him. And he's like, Jeter. And Jeter's like, sit down, rookie. And then smashes a home run through the scoreboard. It's funny. I was crying laughing. I don't know why. But
when was that from? That feels like a 25-year-old commercial or something.
This was brand new commercial. He has like a beard in it and everything. Yeah, like a 5 o'clock shadow, like a deep stubble.
Ooh!
I promise. Yeah, he got a little weight. He's like in his post Marlins life. He's starting to look like a normal
person.
Yeah, look like a normal human being. Yeah,
a little bit. All right. I'm gonna ask you this. Well, you know what? I'll give my opinion as well. If you remember, the one playoff game the Astros had in Seattle, 18 innings long, 0-0. And who came up with the big hit? Jeremy Pena. He hit a solo home run to dead center, and then in Game 4, the clinching game against the Yankees, he hits a 3-run home run. That is clutch level. That, as someone who just filled in for Carlos Correa, that is amazing.
Not easy shoes to fill, yeah.
No, I mean, regular season's one thing, and then you get in the playoffs, and every series you have a moment.
He's got that dog in him. That's what we call it. He's got that dog in him.
That dog?
Got that dog in him.
For me and for anyone else out there who doesn't know what that means, can you explain that? What is a dog in that mean?
He's got that dog in him. He's like a dog. He's like an animal. He's a beast. He's a dog. You know what I mean? He's like not a cat, bro. He's a dog. You get it. He's a dog. You get it.
It's got some swag.
Yeah. There you go. Think about it like that. Like he's got that dog in him. You know?
It's got that it factor, that X factor.
Yes, exactly.
All right.
Bryce Harper, another individual who's up to the gills in dog. He's got dog up to the gills.
That's fair. But again, Jeremy Pena's had a moment in every series so far. I believe he's going to have a moment in this one. I don't know if he will be the MVP. That I will ask that question later. I haven't made up my mind if he will be, but usually that doesn't translate. Like from LCS MVP to World Series, usually you don't win 2. I don't know. I can't think of a time it's happened, but I think he'll have a moment. He'll help them win a game, whatever game that is. So I think he'll have his moment. The only other storyline question I want to ask is this. So Dusty Baker, as we had talked about, over 2,000 regular season wins as head coach, and Bryce Harper, who was called the LeBron James of baseball, the future of baseball on Sports Illustrated when he was in high school. Pick number 1, and he's won multiple MVPs. Dusty Baker and Bryce Harper both don't have a World Series under the belt. I want to ask this. Who finally wins one? Again, your pick was the Astros. Do you believe that Dusty Baker is going to have that? And is that the person you actually want to see win it more?
So to answer your question, yes and yes.
Okay.
Like just the fact that he's been in baseball for so long, teammates with like Hank Aaron and stuff, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like that's crazy. And the fact that he's still managing is nuts. And the fact that he's managing at a high level. Or alive, exactly. A lot of guys from that age, unfortunately, from that generation have passed away. Yeah.
Dusty Baker, 73.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, that's not super young. It's just time-wise, you think Bryce Harper has a bigger window, right? Because he's younger. But also the Phillies getting to the World Series this year are not expected, right? So this is like a window, but his window might be this season, and then the Phillies might be ass again next year. You know what I mean? So it is like Dusty Baker's running out of time in the game of life, and Bryce Harper is running out of time in the window that the Phillies have to be good. And so me personally, Dusty Baker, I felt like got a bad rap as the Cubs manager. They didn't know about pitch counts and stuff back in the day. They didn't know that you weren't supposed to just let your starters throw 150 pitches back-to-back starts all the time. Okay? That wasn't a thing. There was no like, oh, my starter gave me 4 good innings today. Good job, buddy. No, it was, hey, Mark Pryor, Kerry Wood, go out there and just fucking throw the ball as much and as hard as you can, as often as you can. And that was what it was, and I feel like he got a bad rap in Chicago because of that. And then, of course, it was the Bartman thing. And, of course, it was 2003, and there was no coming back from that. And so I just, as a Cubs fan, I would be excited for him to win a World Series because of that as well. So that's my pick. I think Bryce whatever. I don't really have an attachment to him, but so that's why basically I'm going Dusty on this one. Yeah.
I don't think I can get over you saying this is his window for life. That's not a phrase that I thought about before, but I'm gonna use that.
I was gonna say we're all facing a window, brother.
Yeah, no, I certainly know.
So like Dusty, I just hope.
I just hope
he does it. Yeah, I mean, do you remember, dude? It was so trippy watching him, and his kid. Like, remember the JT Snow play where JT Snow ran out and snatched his son, and now his son's like older, and I'm just like, where the hell did time go? Because I remember watching that. Like, this is the wildest thing I've ever seen. Why is there a little kid on the field? What is that?
And again, for anyone who doesn't know, there was when Dusty Baker was coaching the Giants. There was a play to play and that run. People were running around the bases, and one of the players, JT Snow, just sees Dusty Baker's son, who just happens to be the bad boy or something that game or whatever. He's running and about to collide with him, and just takes him by his collar and picks him up and saves him from collisions. But yeah, that was a long time ago, bro. That was like 2000?
Yeah. Because 2001 was the Diamondbacks over the Yankees. And I'll never forget because that was 9/11. And everyone wanted, that was the one year where everyone wanted the Yankees to win. And then Arizona's just like, yeah, we're going to fuck everybody up.
Not me. Not me. I was still going Diamondbacks.
I was still super. I was Patriot. That was the most patriotic version of 12-year-old Ben you were ever gonna get. I was proud to be an American because at least I know I'm free. All right.
Yeah, at least there's that. Large majority countries around the world. But yeah, no, it's Dusty Baker. I would agree that I want to see it. And again, I'm predicting he will. I don't know if he will. But I would like to see him win it over Bryce. Again, as you said, Bryce Younger, that's an understatement. But I do believe the Phillies will be back sooner rather than later. So I think he has at least one more shot. Dusty may not. He may retire after winning. Who knows?
Yeah, that was the other thing. It's like, how long does he want to do it for? You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure. All right. So we predicted Houston in 6. Let me actually check. I asked Dallas to send in his prediction, even though he's going to work. He said
Dan and asked for his, but he has not responded, which is fair because he is
I'm gonna edit a little bit what Dal said, but he didn't give a game prediction. He just said, "I'm joining the Phillies fandom. F the Stros." So
Phillies in X amount of games.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. If the Phillies win at all, he wins.
Yeah, there you go. There we go.
Yeah. All right. So the prediction for the World Series we sent in. What is our World Series MVP, though? And who do you got for that? If it's Houston, there's got to be someone on their team. So who's going to step up?
That's what I was thinking, man. In my head, it's between two guys, right? It's between Jordan, because I think he definitely has the power to just take over a game, hit 5 home runs in the series. You know what I mean? Like, just clobber.
You mean Zordon, right?
Yeah,
Jordan.
And the other guy is my boy Framber. I think if he throws a couple of really solid starts where he shuts the Phillies' bats down, like, why can't he? You know? And then Verlander is probably my other third pick just because he is so great. You know, he could take over a series. But I would pick Alvarez or Framber. Those are my two guys. If you gun to my head, I have to pick one. I'll take Framber just for the hell of it.
Yeah. I mean, it's never a bad pick to pick their best player. I'll say that.
Most consistent, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm going to pick someone who started off the playoffs horrendous. He started off 0 for 25. But in Game 3 against the Yankees, he hit a single. And then in Game 4, he reached base 3 times, which again is big momentum. I'm going to go with a beast, a dog in the postseason. Dog in the postseason, especially the World Series. I'm going to go Jose Altuve.
Love that pick.
Jose Altuve, again, as I just said, has struggled crazy in the playoffs, but he has the second most career home runs in the playoffs, and that's 23 home runs in the playoffs. If he has 2 or 3 and gets on base like a time or 2 a game, I mean, that's enough. So I'm going to say Jose Altuve. Again, I'm going with the Astros, but Dallas, if Dallas is right, it's pretty much anyone on the Phillies. So Dallas wins that one. But yeah, that right. I'm gonna say Jose Altuve, but Jordan is a good pick as well. We'll say that.
But then what's crazy is that Pena could legitimately win it. Kyle Tucker could legitimately win it. Bregman doesn't suck.
No.
I don't think he was great this year, but he's also not terrible. You know what I mean? Like the Astros just are so loaded with guys that could realistically win it, and you wouldn't be surprised at all.
I'll interrupt for a second. Is that sometimes in the World Series, for some reason, it's an out of the box player. I mean, for all we know, it could be like Chas McCormick, their center fielder, who I never knew his name until last
Chaz
week.
Is such a bad name. I don't know if we added that to our bad names thing that we talked about earlier, but Chaz is brutal.
Chaz. Oh, man. I mean, I think it's also with an S. So it's CHAS. It's not even Chaz. That's Chaz.
You couldn't even throw an E on the end and be Chase. That's at least cooler, right? Chaz.
I mean, I don't know. Either way, so it could be someone like that, or like when the Red Sox won the World Series, when the Red Sox beat the Dodgers, it was I think it was Steven Pierce who.
Oh sure.
I mean, up until that point. So again, it could be someone kind of random,
like the White Sox when they won their World Series. It was Jeff Blum and Scotty Pods, like 2 guys. During the regular season that you wouldn't have even obviously Scotty Pods was their table setter, but Jeff Blum was like a utility guy.
I don't even know who that is.
Exactly. He was there though. He was there.
Man, so again, Cubs fans. Who won the Cubs World Series MVP?
Wasn't it? Are you asking me, or do you know?
Yeah. No, I don't know. I forgot.
I also don't remember. I'm starting to think it's. Yeah, Jeff Blum did win a World Series with the White Sox. Okay, I'm sorry.
There you go.
I had to just double check that. I want to say, and I haven't looked it up yet. I am going to guess that it was Jermaine Dye, because that sounds right, but I don't know. World Series.
Jermaine Dye for the MVP.
Oh, I thought you meant for the White Sox fucking thing. I don't know why I'm tweaking. I don't know why I took it.
You know what? I knew this. I looked it up. I knew it. It was Ben Zobrist.
It was Ben Zobrist. There we go. Oh, what the hell? I just had a stroke. But yeah.
He also had that clutch hit.
In Game 7?
Yeah, so. But again, it could be someone random. It could be It could be that guy, that starter for the Astros, who I don't know his name.
Yeah.
Give me someone like that. We don't know. All right, so we have our picks. We have our predictions. We talked about the playoffs so far. I just want to share this again with you guys is that when this comes out, it's going to be Friday. Tonight is game 1. Game 2 is Saturday, then we have a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. So within 8 days, within 9 days, you'll have 7 World Series games, potentially 7. Good. It's a good week for baseball. And again, if you have to pick one, I'd say game 1 or Halloween night in Philadelphia. That game will be nuts. So tune in some point. And they're all the same time. So it's 8 p.m. Eastern. So it's all the same time pretty much every day. So should be fun overall.
Yeah, I don't know what the Thursday night game is. Do they play Thursday night?
No.
Smart, because they don't want to go against the NFL. That makes sense.
Yeah, I believe this week, I think it's Thursday. I think it's the Eagles play the Texans. So Philly versus, Houston. So it should be.
They should kick the shit out of the Texans too. By the way, because the Eagles are really good in the Texans.
That's not hard. That's not hard. All right. So again, watch those games. If you're listening to this point, tune into a baseball game. Have some fun. All right, Ben, you had an idea for our last segment before we go.
Absolutely, yeah. So we're nearing the spooky season. We are getting closer and closer to Halloween.
Yeah.
And what we're going to do is we're going to do a candy draft, Halloween candy draft, right? So we did video games last week, which was a lot of fun. And I want to ask you, just before we get started, what's your favorite trick-or-treating memory? Do you have one? Or like a favorite costume from Halloween that you remember?
Honestly, the only one that I remember, I can't even remember what age I was, but only Ben will know this, or our immediate family. But the White House on Spruce,
yeah,
we lived in the White House at that point, and
fancy. What, you guys live in the White House? That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean it was so much like the White House. It was crazy. It had 2 rooms. It was nuts.
It was nice.
All right, so in the White House, I always refer to it as the White House, the Red House, anyway.
The Green House, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. So the White House, I don't know how, but I was dressed up as a sea monster.
Okay.
And we have pictures of it, and I have a clear memory of the eyes that I had were styrofoam cups with holes cut out in the middle, and it was like colored yellow, and it was supposed to be these bulging eyes, and I had like almost like fishnet around. It was a home.
Man, you guys really had to put a lot of time and effort into that. That was like a home project.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I meant. Your mom. Your parents.
Yeah. Cynthia put some time into that.
There you go. Yeah, I didn't know how much your dad.
I assume it was Cynthia. It could be both. Who knows? But what about you?
I was asking. So for me, one that I remember in particular, and I'll tell everyone a funny story about a missed Halloween. And I don't know if you even remember this, but one year I was a giant bag of money. So Terrence literally just painted my face green, right? I wore a green turtleneck. I wore a burlap sack over my body with fake money from the dollar store stapled to it. And then like a big ass dollar sign right on the chest, right? And I was just a bag of money, and I was just handing people cash, right? Man, I should have saved some of that money, bro. Let me tell you.
that dollar store money.
Yeah. But one year, so Dan and I were young, and there was a store much like Walmart or Kmart, Target back in the 90s called Venture. Do you remember Venture at all? It was a black and white striped building, big V. There was one on Halstead.
Yes.
Maybe when, okay. Yes. So there was a Venture. And my family had gone in there to do like Halloween shopping or whatever we were doing. And at the time, Dan and I were super, super into baseball cards. This was before the recent boom, right? This is like the original boom of the 90s. And Venture had baseball cards. Okay. So Dan convinces me that we're gonna steal some baseball cards. Okay. Now Venture's out of business, so this is, statute of limitations are off. But no, so he wanted to steal a bunch of baseball cards, right? So we sneak down into the toy aisle where they were, or whatever aisle they were, and we load a couple in our pockets, and then we go to the bathroom, right? And then he's in one stall, I'm in the next stall, right? And we're trying to be quiet, right? Because you're opening up the packs of cards, you're taking the cards out, flushing. This is all Dan, master, grand criminal. He's like, flush the wrappers, keep the cards in your pocket so the sensors don't go off when we leave the store. Okay. Right, criminal mastermind. So we're attempting to do this, and we're opening the packs, and somebody comes in to the bathroom, right? And they go and they're just standing at the urinal. And as an adult now, I can think back to what this person was doing is they're clearing their throat to like, hey, assholes, we know what you're doing. Can you stop fucking opening stuff and flushing it down the toilet? But he was waiting there for us to get out. So eventually he like walks out of the bathroom. Dan and I think, oh, coast is clear, we're good. We walk out, and then he's standing there with my mom and dad, and they take us like, yeah, because you remember how super cool my dad was about stuff like that. Yeah. So he grabs me by like the ear or whatever, drags me over to the little security station, and sure enough, there we are on camera, shoving the fucking things into our pockets and then walking into the bathroom. So clearly they catch us. And that year, I was not allowed to participate in Halloween. So I had this awesome alien costume. Like, it was the most expensive costume we had ever bought. Like, it was going to be my Halloween coming out party. And then because I got roped into this Bonnie and Clyde bullshit nickel and dime operation with Dan, I outgrew the Halloween costume by the next year, and it was all over for me. And I never really celebrated Halloween again, truly, after that, I don't think. So there you go. What a story, right?
There seems to be bitterness right now.
I mean, him and I will have a conversation about it. Yeah, when he gets back, I'll bring it up to him in a not so subtle way.
Yeah, remember the alien costume? That was sick. Man, I never heard that story.
Yeah, that definitely happened.
It is cringeworthy. I'll say that.
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah, it's
good.
I
mean, it's just as bad as Dallas and I dining and dashing at, not Cracker Barrel. What's the pie place? What's the pie one? There used to be one in Homewood.
Jeez. Baker Square.
Yes. Yeah, we used to dine and dash Baker Square after church youth group. We also weren't going to youth group for like real good reasons. We were just going to hang out with our friends mostly. But anyway, so we would go dine and dash, and now my wife is convinced that Dallas and I dining and dashing is the reason Baker Squares are going out of business. I'm like, it was a couple times for like $12 each, maybe. Relax. I don't think
it was you guys.
60 total. Yeah, I don't think the $60 total is what put Baker Square and Venture out of business.
You don't know. Maybe a lot of people were doing that, and you guys just set the trend.
We tipped it, pushed it over the
Yeah, that's right. Bunch of hoodlums. All right, let's
Candy. Who do you want to go first? You want to go Dallas's first or what?
Yeah, let's go Dallas first because I went first last time.
Okay, yeah, give me Dallas's first pick.
So Dallas has, let me pull it up. Dallas picked Snickers #1.
Okay, that's a good pick. I don't have Snickers even on my list.
No,
So
I don't think so.
I'm not a huge Snickers fan.
No.
I'm in my head in these candies. By the way, I'm going like the Halloween size, like the mini ones.
Yeah, the
mini Snickers are better than full size Snickers because that's just too much. But
ice cream Snickers are the best.
You're a 1,000,000% correct. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, go ahead.
I'm going.
Yeah.
My number one pick, second pick overall. My favorite candy, Twizzlers.
Oh Twizzlers. Man! All right, that's fine. That's fine. I was getting nervous. I love me. By the way, are we doing steals? Because only you and I can steal.
Yeah, let's just steal all Dallas shit. Just say, sorry,
he has no idea. All right, let's not steal that. Well, no, I mean if Dallas can't steal, then maybe none of it should. Yeah, let's just keep it hard like that. That'd be good. Yeah. All right, I was really scared you were gonna go and pick mine. My number one is so easy that I don't feel like I have to explain. It's Reese's.
Ooh, that was number 3. That was number 3 for me.
Why would it be? I can't even believe it'd be. It's not number one.
Have you had the Reese's Thins? So they're they're smaller. They're less chocolate and less peanut butter. Way better. They're like the thin Oreos. It's like less cookie, less cream.
It's like, hey, how about like less pie? That's why. If I can have the whole pie, I want the whole thing.
Eat the whole Reese's. I got it.
Well,
have you ever seen the one?
I'm eating the whole sleeve, bro. What?
Have you ever seen the 1 pound cup?
Yeah.
It was like, would you eat that? The 1 pound Reese's cup?
If someone gave it to me and I knew my blood sugar wouldn't kill me,
that's.
And my blood sugar wouldn't go to like 300, then yeah, why not? All right, so I went Reese's with my obvious number one.
Great pick.
All right, so Dallas is number 2. Dallas actually had Reese's number 2.
Oof.
His number 2, I don't even know if this may be a mistake, but I'm just gonna go with it. He said Heath.
What?
That was his number 3.
Oh my goodness! That wouldn't have been in my top 50.
No, but
that's when you're doing like a fantasy draft, and then all of a sudden somebody drafts like Tim Tebow in the 3rd round, and you're like, what the shit are you doing, man? And it just throws everything off because then everything goes haywire at that point. That's Dallas picking Heath in the 2nd round.
To each his own. I mean, again, he had Reese's, but I picked it. So his number 3 was Heath. So his 2nd round pick is Heath. What do you got in the 2nd round?
So I went fruity candy with my first pick. So I have to go chocolate candy to balance it out because I want a full bag and I want this to be an appropriate bag. I want to get a lot of flavors out of my candy bag. My 2nd pick, Twix. You get the cock. They get the cock. I just said the cock. You get the cookie. You get the chocolate. You get the caramel. Perfect bite, especially the tiny individual ones where it's like a little 2-biter. Boom, boom. Halloween size. Perfect. Twix.
Okay. Boom. That's fair. I think so. I have Dallas's list, and I'm not gonna take this, but his and mine are different. So, just saying that. Mine is original Kit Kat.
Another great pick. Rock.
It's a staple.
Yeah,
a kid's staple. You gotta have Kit Kat.
A little 2-pack. The little 2-pack, right? The little ping, little Halloween 2-pack.
I mean, if you're gonna give me that little one, I'm eating like 4 or 5.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right, so again, very similar, but Dallas and I have different. It's different. He picked Kit Kat white chocolate.
I didn't even know that was a thing. But all right, good for him. Good for him.
I maybe I've had it, but
are you a fan of white chocolate things in general? I don't know if I'm a huge fan of white chocolate, like the flavor.
The only thing that comes close is when they used to make those Oreos and cream Hershey's bars.
Oh, sure.
But
those were good.
Cookies and cream, sorry.
Yeah, I knew what you meant. Yeah.
I mean, Oreos are cookies, but whatever. All right. No, I'm not a big fan, but I don't know many things are white chocolate. So, what do you got in the third round?
Well, this is easy. This is easy, and it's surprising that it hasn't been picked yet. And I'm gonna make a caveat. So I'm gonna say Starburst is the answer. Starburst. I'm going back to the fruity. I'm a big fan of Starburst. I want either yellows or oranges because those are my two favorite. Everyone likes the pinks. Everyone likes the reds. Get the pinks and get the reds and get them out of here. Take a hike. All right. Give me the oranges and the yellows. Give me the Forgotten Sons. Give me the weak. That's what I want. I want Starburst, asterisk, yellow, and oranges. Okay. How about that? That's a hot take. I know people are going to give me shit for that, but whatever.
I mean,
people look, dude, they have all reds as a package. They don't have all yellows. It's just one flavor, just yellow. Just one bar of yellow.
Yeah.
Oh, I texted Dallas. I'm sorry. I'm going to interrupt. I texted Dallas earlier.
Yeah.
And he gave me his World Series MVP, Bryce Harper. So there you go. Not a big surprise. But now he actually has a name. Bryce Harper's going to be his guy.
All right. And again, picking their best players was a good option coming down the stretch. All right. So my round 3, I'm not really big into candy, but I'm just going to, I really want to pick one I know you're going to pick just because we can't steal. But I'll hold myself back.
Maybe I won't pick it. Maybe.
You know what? If you based on what we talked about before recording, if you don't, I'll be surprised. I'm gonna go with peanut M&Ms.
Ooh, peanut M&Ms are the superior M&M. That's a great pick.
Right.
Peanut M&Ms are the superior M&M. I'm also a big fan of the pretzel M&Ms.
Yeah.
Like the pretzel M&Ms. It's a nice little crunch in there. Those are good. Not a big fan of just the plain chocolate ones. Those are just whatever. And the red guy, what's his problem? Why is he walking around like he's king shit red M&M, bro? Like everyone likes the yellow M&M more. Everyone likes the yellow M&M more.
He's the self-appointed leader.
Yeah, he could take a hike too. Get him out of here. Boo, get him out.
Yeah. All right.
So Dallas is at round 4.
That's at round 4. Only one, I believe, on his list is left. It's Skittles.
Ooh, good call.
That's a good pick. It's a good pick. I mean, I never would pick Skittles from a grocery store, but on Halloween, for whatever reason, of course, you got to get something like that.
So you wouldn't, if you're going down the candy aisle or you're going at the checkout lane and you got the Skittles, is never what you're grabbing?
I would rather, and it's not like I hate it. I would just say I'm good. I don't know why, but on Halloween, it's like just part of it.
Halloween and Easter are the two best. Halloween and Easter are the two best candy holidays. And Easter brings Reese's.
Reese's has good holiday ones every single holiday. So the trees for Christmas, the pumpkins.
The eggs on Easter.
Yeah,
dude, jelly beans, Starburst jelly beans. Like, I know it's not a Halloween candy, but if I could like sneak one off the top rope, that would be it. It would be Starburst jelly beans. Okay,
well, I mean,
so round 4.
Yeah, round 4.
Are we ready? So we're getting down to the nitty gritty. I have 2 more that I absolutely feel like I need to have and 2 more that I'm kind of okay with having.
Okay.
So I'm going to take the one that I guaranteed to want, and that's going to be candy corn. I love candy corn. I know people think it's gross. I know people think it's made out of wax, and it all very well could be. But I have to bite it in pieces, so I take the top first, and then I take the third, and then or the middle, and then I take the third. But candy corn is the next, and it's also holiday specific. So candy corn.
Boom. True. I don't know what candy corn's made out of.
Corn and candy.
Right,
and
corn.
dreams.
That's right. Corn.
It's corn.
Again, to be honest, I'm grasping at straws, trying to figure out a candy I would eat. I'm gonna say for my 4th round pick, I'm gonna have to go. Tell me if this is not Halloween, because I have an easy backup. Payday.
You fucker. That was the one. That was the other one that I really wanted. that would have been my next round pick.
Okay.
Payday's an incredible candy. Incredible candy. Great job.
I mean,
dude, there's something about the saltiness of the peanuts.
It's somewhat similar, kind of, to a Baby Ruth.
I think it's better than a Baby Ruth, though. I like the chocolate.
Yeah, sure. All right. So again, Dallas doesn't have a fifth round pick.
He texted me. He texted me. He says he choose either caramel apple pops, which those from Isaac Walton. They'd be like the little screen suckers, incredible.
Yeah.
Or Werther's originals, like the hard caramel candy. So he said either of those two because he gave me 2 options. So I say we give him the caramel apple pop since we think those are the other ones.
Yeah, I mean, Werther's, I feel like to like Werther's that much, you have to be a boomer.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. I remember Grandpa used to have Werther's, like Grandpa, and that's the very perfect thing.
It's a very old man. Silent generation, but yeah, it's so we'll give him that. We'll give him the candy apple suckers.
Candy apple, green apple suckers. Yep.
I don't know if that's like nationwide or if that's just us, but who cares?
We used to have him at Isaac Walton, so whatever.
Yeah, sure. Ben, what do you got last pick?
Last pick. This is another really specific one. It's got to be banana Laffy Taffies.
Ooh, that's a good pick.
Banana Laffy Taffies. They're incredible. You know what? They're going to be all Laffy Taffies because I really like the red ones too. So I'm going to take Laffy Taffies. So banana, red, and grape. Those are the big 3. The shitty jokes on the back. You could always tell your mom and she'll always laugh even though they're terrible jokes. So those are great. Laffy Taffies. Bam. That's a solid 5, bro.
Yeah.
That's a solid 5.
I'm going to have to record these down. All right. So my 5th round pick is, again, grasping. I'm like looking up what's your state's favorite. I'm gonna go with one that I know I had as a kid. I would never go seek for, but again, Halloween specific. Milky Way.
Milky Way is a good candy. I think Milky Way gets pooped on for. And that's unfair. I think it's a solid. Three Musketeers people don't like. I think people like Milky Way. I think people don't like Three Musketeers. But I get those confused.
The other option I had was Butterfinger, but I never like how that it feels like I know it's peanut butter, but it just feels like I'm chewing on goop after a while. Mm-hmm. And if that melts on you, man, you are staying forever. Yeah, so I'm going to have to jot these down because I feel like I'm starting to already forget what I picked.
I wrote mine down, so I can send you my list, and then we can always listen back and take a look at it and set it up after the fact. But solid picks, Dallas coming through. With the only sucker option, I think I would have gone Blow Pops over Caramel Apple Pops.
Ring Pops.
Ooh, Ring Pops are good. Are you a Tootsie Pop or a Blow Pop girl?
Well, I mean, you know me. Whatever they get, whatever I get in the bag.
Whatever's there. Yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah. I mean, as a kid, I
Excellent.
wasn't very picky. I was just like, just shove it in my mouth.
Food. Sucked it in.
Yeah, pretty much. So again, we'll get a graphic together and we'll put that up. I know last week we didn't. I'll try to get one up before Halloween, or maybe I'll put it up on Halloween and see if we can get some interaction that way. So if we're all good, we're all good.
Yeah, I'm good on my end.
All right, so keep listening. Right after this ends, we'll have a 9-10 minute, at the most 9-10. I'm going to sit down and talk with Dan Zai, Phillies fan, about his favorite moment from the playoffs so far, his prediction. Guess what? It's different than ours. He has the Phillies in 7. That's spoiler. But go ahead and listen to that and see what a Phillies fan has to say about seeing the Phillies in the playoffs, let alone the World Series. So this has been episode 49 of the Family Based Pod. Again, my name's Jake.
And I'm Ben.
And Dallas came in through via text. Again, he's a professional. He has to work. He's helping surgery, so we won't, get bogged down. So we'll see you guys after the World Series is over. Not sure exactly what date yet because I personally don't even know what's going on. So we'll see. I'll let you guys know ahead of time. And thanks for watching, listening, subscribe, share it, like, comment, all that stuff. Do that now.
Do all the stuff.
Do all of it. Check us out on Instagram and TikTok. The handle is Family Based Pod. We share clips. We share highlights from the games. I'll share highlights from the World Series. So check that out. We'll see you guys next time, whenever that is.
Bye.
Bye. And welcome back with Family Based Pod. My name is Jake and Stan. Dan, say hi.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for having me, Jake.
Yeah, no problem. Well, it's no problem for me, but I'm just saying, I know we had technical difficulties a second ago, but I will say the same thing is that you were our third one-on-one guest, and now the Phillies are in it. So I'm going to take a bit of credit that we got the ball rolling.
You absolutely got the ball rolling. I'll give you all the credit. We're going to talk every August or September, and just that'll be the beginning of the pennant race for the Phillies when you and I come on this podcast.
Yeah. I mean, well, if the Cubs aren't in it, I'll do it. For sure.
There you go.
All right.
Well, the Cubs own the Phillies.
Yeah, I mean, the Cubs also swept the Mets at the end of the year, so I guess signs to come. I don't know. But all right, so I have 4 basic questions, and I want to just rattle them off as fast as you can or as you want. So in the previous episode that we did together, you said this.
I think the Phillies are going to go as far as they can until they meet the Dodgers and Mets. I think we can take anybody else in the playoffs.
So, based on the fact you did say the Dodgers were the only team or the team most likely to go through to the World Series, once you saw the Dodgers fall to Padres, were you confident that they'd make it?
I was confident as soon as I saw the bracket, as soon as I knew that the Phillies were the 6th seed. I thought that the Padres could play the Dodgers well. And so I'm not going to say I thought 2 weeks ago that we would be here, but my confidence grew over time, and it's been an amazing, awesome ride as a Phillies fan.
Yeah. I mean, I can imagine, and I know it one time, so I can relate in that one way. All right, so there have been plenty of moments that the Phillies' journey so far in the postseason has been incredible. Even as not a Phillies fan, but to you, what's been the one moment that kind of stuck out as like, I can't believe this is happening? Was it the clincher, or was it something early on?
For me personally, I got to go to game 2 in the series in St. Louis. So to see my team clinch in person was amazing, even though it was the first round. I think generally the Rhys Hoskins bat spike home run in game 3 of the series against Atlanta, I watched that and just, my jaw dropped and I started clapping my hands because I texted someone and said, Rhys Hoskins is not messing around today. It was like I felt the same thing that I think he was feeling and that the whole stadium was feeling, that this was a weight off of his shoulders, that he was proving himself and the team was proving itself in that moment. That I think it went from, we hope this is happening, to this is really a realistic possibility right around that inning in game 3 of the DS.
Yeah. I mean, that was the picture we used for all of our episode titles, because it was iconic. And when it happened, again, I picked against the Phillies. So when it happened, I had that gut feeling of like, oh no, this is not going to go well. So I can imagine that. And being in person must have been incredible.
So much fun.
All right, so so far there have been lots of moments, lots of players that stuck out. But genuinely, what is your prediction for the World Series? What do you have the Phillies winning?
Phillies in 7. I think it'll be well pitched. Obviously, Houston's rotation is amazing. I think we'll see the Phillies dealing with more adversity in this series than they have. I think we'll see the Astros dealing with more adversity, even though they've had some good comeback wins. So I think it could go the distance and be some really great pitching matchups with the starters.
Yeah, and I will be honest. I don't believe that you're going to get a lot of people picking the Phillies, but again, that's kind of gone right for them so far. I'll say it to you, and I said earlier on the episode, I'm picking the Astros simply because I picked against the Phillies every single round. So why not just keep going and see if I predict it right, then that's horrible. That's bad for obviously you. But if I'm predicting so that they win, either way I win. All right, so if you got the Phillies in 7,
we'll take it.
If you got the Phillies in 7, who is going to be the MVP?
Yeah, a little bit of a dark horse MVP, but the man who I think was the Phillies team MVP all year, JT Realmuto, handled the staff great. He's had clutch hits at the right time. He's also just continued to be a great leader for the team. I think he's going to make some more big hits. Maybe not another inside the park home run like he had against Atlanta, which you don't always see from a catcher. But I think he can have some big plays, and he's going to be the World Series MVP.
Yeah, that was the first inside the park home run ever for a catcher. So
it wasn't ever. Okay, I didn't even realize that.
So when you're doing stuff like that, I mean, in the playoffs, not like ever, but when you're breaking records like that, that's a good sign. All right, so
who's your MVP?
So this is kind of a bonus question, but if the Phillies are in Game 7. Where are you going to watch? Are you going to watch at home? Are you going to go somewhere else? Where are you going to be if the time comes to celebrate?
I'll be at home, and that'll be, I think, a Saturday night. So it'll be pretty normal Saturday night, getting ready for church in the morning, but we'll have some beverages on ice, and we'll be ready for hopefully an amazing Phillies victory. I'll be watching on Fox. I will tell you, I'm glad that it's on regular network TV. I did actually buy streaming cable just for these playoffs, but I won't have to use it for the World Series like I have these past couple of weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's a good spot to be. I'm guessing where you've been watching them this whole time.
Yeah.
Not going to be superstitious. I don't believe in that, but couldn't hurt.
Go with the rhythms, you go with the rhythm that you're used to. I'm texting my brother in Pennsylvania, who's always watching along and kind of experiencing it together that way with him near Philadelphia. Yeah.
And again, we just recorded the episode that will be before this, but yeah, I'm right there with you. I would love to see it. I'd love to be able to have. I have an individual or two that are Astros fans, but I'm going to be rooting for you guys. So we'll see how it turns out. And if they do win, I'm going to give you some breathing time, but I'm going to reach out again, and we're going to have a conversation about it.
I'll come back down there with you, and then we'll chat about it. That sounds like a plan.
Yeah, so thanks for joining us. And again, this is the Foundry Based Project, and here's Dan, and I guess we'll both say, go Phillies.
Go Phils.
Hey, I'm Eden. Thanks for watching this episode of my dad's podcast. Check out the links in the description to follow the podcast on TikTok, Instagram, and the other social media. Make sure you like and subscribe and hit the bell to let you know when there's a new episode. Thanks for watching or listening. Bye.